Okay, for today's class, what we'll do is we will go to Photoshop itself and we'll make sure that we will look into the interfaces of the Photoshop. Then we will do some settings that for making a sheet. Then we will use something known as guides so as to make sure we get a grid or we get some sort of guides are nothing but a construction lines that are used in Photoshop so as to help us create a grid or some sort of alignment or stuffs could be done with the help of guides. Okay, then we will see a site which would help you to choose a color palette. If you are a person who is interested in having a specific color palette like me, I basically use a sort of color palette that is, you can see my sheet. Okay, I have a specific color palette that I normally use always. Okay, so that becomes a customized view of you to the world. Okay, so that for according to your style and stuff, you can basically choose a color palette. I'll help you guys how to choose a color palette. Then I will show you how to import a PDF from AutoCAD and put it in the Photoshop. And also we will do something called pixel correction. Okay, unlike Illustrator, Photoshop is a pixel software, which is basically instead of a vector is nothing but a mathematical calculations done software. So that will have a infinity zoom. Okay, so pixel are nothing but small cells that is being used so as to create a proper image. So that is what is a pixel. So in Photoshop, there's a problem of pixel that you can't infinitely zoom it. So I will help you guys how you could correct that pixeling and stuffs. And then we will look into some basic tools of Photoshop. And also I will show you guys some short commands while and when we are using it. We will use some short commands so as to increase our speed. I'll also give the file at the end which contains all the short commands in Photoshop to you in the drive which we have. We basically have that as well. Okay, so now I'll go to my Photoshop screen. So first of all, I will tell you how we can this is the first phase that comes up when you basically open the Photoshop. Okay, if you are having a higher version, you will basically come to a place where you will have a templates. Okay, where in which you can select the template of the sheet as well. If you close it, you will come again to this phase. Okay, then if you are not seeing any of this, like the toolbar out here or the properties or the colors or the adjustment you are not seeing, don't worry, I'll tell you. Go to the Windows option out here, go to workspace and click on essential default. Okay, and then come down, tick this adjustment, then layers, swatch, options and tools. Then you will come to this interface. Okay, just do it. That go to workspace, essential first thing, adjustments, layers, swatches, options and tools. Now you will come to such a interface. Okay, so this is the first thing that you guys need to do. Second thing is, now we need to basically make a sheet. Okay, we want a sheet. So for that, what you do, go to files, go create, press on new. Okay, and you will come to such a dialog box and where in which you can put the width and height, or you according to the custom sheet, or you can basically have standard sheets like US sheets and international papers where in which you will get directly A4 sheet, A3 sheets or so on. Okay, so which you could select. Now I'm just naming it as mm, or Arc Studio, and then I am just making it custom so that I just want a A1 sheet. So the A1 sheet size in millimeters are 841 cross 594. Okay, and make sure this is in color mode. You don't keep it in black and white, or else you will not get the required color. And RGB is the ones if you are using for presentation purpose. If you are using it for presentation, RGB use it. CMYK is used if you are taking printing. Okay, RGB is a additive color scheme and CMYK is a subtractive color scheme. If you guys know it, that is the stuff. Okay, so if you guys are printing it, use it at CMYK. Okay, and then you can press OK. So you will see that you will come to a sheet like this. Okay, you will get a sheet like this. In my case, if you could see that on the top there is a ruler. In your case, sometimes it would not be there. Go to uh, views, Here there is an option known as ruler. Tick this, tick extras, and also tick the snap. Okay, tick these three and keep, along with go to snap to tick the guides, layers, and the document bound as well. Just click on it, it will get ticked. Okay, it will get checked. So do that as well. This is about the sheets. This is how you basically make a sheet, or you basically have a sheet being brought out onto the Photoshop. Any doubts till now? Okay, no doubts. Then I'll show you how you guys could create a guide. Guide is nothing but if you guys want to have a border, okay, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter from all the four sides, you want a margin to be made. So what we does is that we basically, first thing that you guys need to do is just double click on the ruler. If it has come, double click on the ruler that is been out here. So you will come to a preference wherein which you have units of the rulers. Make sure this is in millimeters. Sometimes it will be in pixel or in inches. Make sure it is in millimeters, because when you are working in a sheet that you know only the size, make sure that is in millimeters so that we can adjust the amount of the size, the placement of the guides. Okay. For the easiness of that, I will suggest you guys to make it into millimeters and keep it okay. Press OK so that it becomes in millimeters. Now, if you want to add the margins, how to use it? You can go to the option called view. You can create new guide. Okay, there will be an option called vertical or horizontal. Okay, vertical means you will get a guide like this in this direction. Okay, in the uh, uh, in the in the vertical direction you will get the guide. So I want a guide to be basically 10 mm from here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just type 10 and give OK. So you can see there is a fluorescent blue color line that is coming up. Okay, so that is what a guide is. Similarly, if you want again to place the guide, you can again go to view, create a new guide, vertical, and now I want it at this corner. So this is basically a 840. This is a 841 ka sheet. Okay, so what I need to do is just type 831. Okay, instead of 841, 10 mm down, 831, and press OK. So this is one method. Okay, if you, there is one more method to produce guide, that is you can click on the ruler and just drag it. You can see that the guide comes up. Okay, and if you can, there is also some writings that is coming in, like 61.4 mm that is been showing. So if you want an approximate guide, you can basically use this. Okay, so as to click, for example, if I want a guide to be at 100 mm. Okay, so just move it. You can basically place it at 100, and it will be only approximate, you will not get exact. Okay, 100.9 mm, and you can basically place the guide. This is one option. Now I just want two more guides in the horizontal direction. For that, you can basically go to window, you can go to views, create a new guide horizontal. You can just type 10 and then give OK. So you will again get a line like this, and again you can basically pull from the top ruler as well. Then also you will get the guide. Okay, now I'll just keep it at 884. Okay, so that is basically okay, somewhat okay, that will also do. There is one more thing. If you are basically pulling something and you are getting a guide, if you want to change the direction, you can just press Alt. Okay, if you press Alt, you will see that the guide's direction changes automatically. Okay, that is also possible. So this is what guide is. So what is the use of the guide is, I am just using a rectangle out here. Okay, in this toolbar there is a rectangle that is been shown. Just click on the rectangle, and if I draw a rectangle, if you come close to the guide, you will see that this gets sticked to the guide automatically. So if you want to align stuffs, okay, it is easy view with the use of guide. Got it? So that is what guide helps you. If you could move this guide, if you are moving the guide, you will see that this is aligned. So this is what is the use of guide. If you want to undo anything, what you can do is, in Photoshop, the short command is Control Z for one time. More than one time, if you want to do, you need to press Control Alt Z. Got it? That is how you basically undo stuffs in Photoshop. Control Alt Z. Don't just simply press Control Z. It will only work once. If you want multiple undos, you need to press Control Alt Z. Okay, in Photoshop. So that is about the guides. Any doubts about guides? That is known as, you can go to the Insta page, which is called as Cooler. Okay, coolers.com. So what this site is, that it helps you to get a specific color scheme. Okay, there's a large variety of color shades that is being available. If you can click on one, the thing is that they also show you how this color could be used. Okay, that is really good, because this helps you to basically create a sheet. Okay, sheet with this color scheme. So this color scheme is a really good thing, and also this helps you in basically giving the color code as well. So it basically gives you the colors name along with RGB as well as CMYK settings. Okay, and also it gives you the Copic, if you are using the marker, you know that color is also being brought. Okay, so this is a really good site if you guys want to have a proper color scheme of yourself, or you want to basically build a color of like yeah, a set of colors you want, that you always feel that is required to be brought into your sheet, so that you basically have a style. You can basically use this. Okay, you can basically go search, keep on searching, you whichever color scheme you feel is really good and suits your style, you can basically try it out, you can basically create it. Okay, and that is one thing that I would tell. I'll show you one. You can create such a template and keep. Okay, this is my habit, that I normally create a template of a sheet which I always normally use of a A1. I normally keep it ready. Okay, if any time when if any professors or anyone is coming and asking us to basically make a sheet, so what I do is I only put this stuff in it. I already have the template ready. Okay, this is basically a group that I have made, telling it as a template. Okay, so you guys can also do this and keep, which would be really easy if you are basically required to do something. Okay, suddenly at a moment or so, you can basically use this directly. Okay, so this is one more thing with your color scheme. Okay, this is a color scheme that I normally use, that is white, teal, green, yellow, gray and black. So this is a color scheme that I normally use, which is my sort of my custom style. So that is what I would also suggest people to do. Keep a template ready in Photoshop, so it is easy to work in. We will go to a thing that is known as importing PDF from Autocad. If you guys are not knowing Autocad now, you guys can look into the description, wherein which you will get um, the AutoCAD which I basically taught for 90 minutes. Okay, you guys can check that. If you guys want to learn AutoCAD fast, you can basically use that. Then I'm going to AutoCAD now. I basically want this file to be imported onto my Photoshop. For that, what I need to do is I just need to plot it. Just type plot, you will come to such a thing. And what is the sheet size? Make sure you basically select that size. Okay, this was a A1 sheet, so select A1. Okay, A1 portrait mode. Okay, this is I'm selecting. Then I'm going to make it into AutoCAD PDF. Okay, and then change display to Windows, or you can use whatever you feel like. Okay, whatever mode you feel like, you can use it. You can basically change it from Windows. You can change limits, extents, or display. Okay, you can basically use it, and you can just check the preview. Okay, now preview is okay. This is a good one. So I feel I need to just make sure that the plot object lines and the plot transparency, everything is okay. Okay, and give okay, and you will they will ask for you to save the file. So I'm just saving it in the desktop. I'm saving this. So you will basically get the sheet. So if I go to the desktop, you will see that I'm opening it with Adobe PDF reader, so that you will get a proper, you get a PDF, okay, of this. If you zoom in, you can see that this is a proper PDF of the image. Sometimes if you are importing black and white images, you will have some issue of light lines. Okay, everything will be light in color. So if you want that reader to be basically showing everything in dark, what you can do is Control K press. You will come to image display, make sure this smooth line is off. Okay, and give OK. Cool. So that everything will be dark. Okay. Sometimes if you are exporting stuff from AutoCAD, then you will basically see that your PDF will be having everything in light. Okay. So as to remove that, basically you need to use this technique. Fine. Any doubts? No doubts? Okay. Then I'll just import this onto my Photoshop. Okay. How to do that? It is really simple. Nothing to do much. Just take this, drag and drop. Got it? You can see that this will showcase like this. Give OK. You see it basically came up. The file basically came up, and press enter. Sometimes on your case this will be a transparent sheet sometimes. Okay, that is because the background would be basically not there. Okay, the background which you are seeing right now will not be there. So what you can do is you can now what I'm doing is, if you want to unlock the background out here in the layer, what you can do is double click it, then give OK, so that it becomes a layer. Sometimes in your case, if it is transparent, means this layer will be deleted. If I'm deleting the layer, it will be basically showing something like this in your case. Okay, sometimes in your case it would be showing something like this at some places. Then what you can do is you can basically add a layer down. Okay, for that you need to, there is a small option with a half semicircle with which is filled. Okay, you can just select that and you can basically hit solid colors. You will see something like this coming up. Okay, this is basically a full colored sheet. If you want a black sheet, you can basically tick it OK, or you can select the color accordingly. Okay, from here. Now I'm just using the teal green, which I normally use a lot. So I'll just keep the teal green, keep it teal green a little thing, and just give OK. Okay, and you will see that it is on the top of, okay, top layer. So just drag it down. So you will see that now the layer is on below. If you again want to change the color, you can double click on this thing, and again you can change it accordingly. Okay, however you want, you can basically change it and give OK, so that you get it fine. You get it a proper if you zoom in this case, you can see that it is pixelating. Okay, the house model that we exported is getting pixelated, right? It is basically not that clear. It is having some sort of errors. This is because of the pixelating problem of what I was telling. So now we basically need to make sure this is not pixelating that much. Okay, for that, normally what people does is, there is a short command called Control T. If you press Control T, what happens is you can transform the object that you have. Press shift and basically you can drag it up and down, or scroll it, or you can basically scale it. Okay, you can basically scale it with the help of the transform. Okay, that is Control plus T. You can basically use it. I'm just minimizing it and keeping, and then press enter. You will again see that it is basically coming. Then now again if you go, it is see like it is pixelating like anything. Now if it is smaller image, it will pixelate like hell. So normally people start enlarging it and checking, and some sort of like that they start doing, and at last then too you will not get a proper image. So what you guys can do for that, what you can do it, go to image, and then there is an option known as image size. Click on it. Or there is also one more short command known as Control I. Just press Control I. Select it, Control I. Okay, it's not working, I guess. Sorry, Alt Control I. Okay, Alt Control and I. Okay, you will get the same thing. Cool. And then what you guys need to do is, out here there is something known as resolution, which is 28. Just increase it to like 200 or so and give OK. So now you can see that the file has become much clearer. Now you can see that pixelating has gone. So this is what you need to do. Make sure you make it such that it is okay. Don't make it too high. Don't make it like 1000, 2000 or so, because the file size will also increase like that. Okay, when you start increasing the image quality, the file size will also increase. Now we have a proper one without a pixelating stuffs. Okay, that doesn't have a pixelate, doesn't goes off now when we zoom in. So this is how you make a more clarity image to come in. Now, as yesterday's class, what we did, we basically added levels, as well as we added some curves onto your specific the image. So similarly, you can also add to the layer by pressing Control M. Control L if you press. Okay. Okay. Before you add anything more onto this layer, what you need to do is you need to rasterize it. Okay. If you want to select or you want to edit this, what you need to do is you need to rasterize it, or else nothing will work. Okay, anything you want to do on the stuff more, like now I resized it, I have basically made it proper, I have basically made sure that the pixelating is not there and done everything. Now anything more you have to do, you have to basically add some contrast, you want to add some levels, or you want to make it more dark or so. The first thing that you need to do is you need to rasterize it. Go left click it, and then there is an option known as rasterize layer. Click on it so that it gets embedded onto the image that you have. That is something that is done by rasterizing. Now if you press Ctrl L, you can see that the level comes up. Now you can basically darken it a little according to your wish, and just lighten it or darken it so that it comes to a proper position. Can add more contrast. Now it is basically more clearer and stuff. Okay, so that is basically yesterday what we did. The same thing could be done. So that is what is known as a pixel correction. That we did pixel correction, and we basically added some levels as well as some brightness and stuffs as well onto your image that you basically had, the floor plan. Cool. So that much was for the stuff. So now we will just look into some basic tools so that we can use for tomorrow. Okay, so any doubts till now? No doubts? Okay, then we will go to something like the tools out here. Okay, so these tools, I'll just tell some tools which would be basically helpful for us. First thing is the move tool. The first one is a move tool. You can use this so as to basically move any image. You can basically select that and select the layer, and then you can move it. Okay, the next thing is there is an option called lasso. This is used by us so as to create shadows. If you want not to create shadows, it is basically to make a take up a position so as to edit only that area. Okay, if you use this lasso, if you select lasso, you can basically use it so that if you want to have a sort of light effect, okay, onto this thing. So you basically create a sort of triangle like this, and basically when you come to the end point, there will be a circle coming up. That means you are going to close this image. Okay, so I'm just using it something like this, and you can see a small piece like this comes up. Okay, and then what you need to do is there is an option out here known as create new layer. Okay, you can go to the new layer, and then if you have the color out here, there is an option known as paint bucket. If there is a drop menu as well, if you drop menu, you can basically see there is an option known as gradient. Okay, and then you can change this black to something like a yellow color. You can just select yellow, and you can see that out here this becomes something like a transparent and yellow shade. Okay, and then you just need to give something, you just need to press first point and the second point. Okay, just adjust it accordingly so that you get a, okay, so that you get something. And then if you want to deselect this, what you need to do is Control D. you can see that you get a sort of light effect out here. You can say you can basically reduce the opacity as we mentioned in the last class. From here you can basically reduce the opacity so as to create a sort of a light effect coming into. Okay, so I'll teach more of this when we basically use how we'll start rendering a floor plan in the tomorrow's class, wherein which I will use more of it. Okay, of this lasso. I just told you how we could use lasso today. And then there is an option known as magic wand. Okay, if you magic wand is basically used for selecting anything really fast. Okay, if you want to select this only the blue color, if you click on it, you can see that it gets selected really fast. Okay, this option gets, okay, sorry, this is in layer 1. Okay, now go to the model where in which you want to select. Okay, go to the layer, don't mix up the layers. Now what happened is I was in the different layer when I was selecting this, that's why it did not get selected. Now go to the PDF file and now select it. So you can see that the colors getting selected. Okay, so if you press shift you can basically select more components also. So this is basically a easy method so as to select stuffs, and this would help us to basically give colors to it, or more stuffs could be added on to this. Okay, so one more thing I will teach and I'll end today's class, then we will basically continue from tomorrow. That is, if you want to select anything of the same type, okay, same color, what you need to do is out here there is an option known as select. Okay, and you can basically select similar. Okay, if you select similar means what happens is anything that is of the similar shade or similar color gets selected very fast. Okay, so everywhere that the blue line was there gets selected suddenly. So this is really good if you are using a sort of if you want to select stuffs very fast, you can basically use this. Okay, so this is one thing. And if you want to come out of this selection, what you need to do is Control D. You can basically come out of the selection. Okay, so I will stop till this much for today. We will look for the rest of the things in tomorrow's class. And before leaving, I'll show you one more thing, that is in the VRA workshop Google Drive that we have, I have basically added the Photoshop short commands. Okay, like if you want to basically have more of the image sizing that we did right now, Control Alt I, the canvas sizing, or if you want to easily select any tools like the move tool, there is a short command called V. Magic wand ke liye we have W. So there are like so many short commands, okay, for Photoshop. If you guys want to basically use it, you guys can go through it and start using it, because once you start using it now, it will be easier for you to edit rather than going and clicking. Now you can basically use the tools like V. When you press on V, you basically get it. Press on M, you get the magic wand. So like that, you can you press on W, you get magic wand. So you can basically easily fastly work. Okay, so that will be a really good thing. So till today's class, any doubts you can ask now.